We're rolling into week 14, and the waiver wire has been dry at the running back position for like the last month and a half, and we've been looking at the same handcuff running backs week in and week out. We did have Amir Abdullah last week, but nothing that got fantasy gamers excited. Now we're looking at Isaac Guerendo going into week 14 after Christian McCaffrey getting hurt. Then the next day, we catch the news on Jordan Mason. We have to deep dive him today because a lot of you guys are picking him off the waiver wire right now. And we got to go over the advanced analytics, what he did in college, how he was as a recruit, so we can connect the dots on what he looks like so you can get a better idea of what you're getting out of Isaac Guerendo. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're going hard in the paint with these deep dives every day on as many players as possible. We're going deep on the waiver wire, and we're using this video to help you set your lineups. Click that button, stop missing out. But we're starting off looking at the news. Jordan Mason out, IR, injured reserve, not coming back for a bit. Same thing for Christian McCaffrey with the PCL. We covered that. We even showed the injury on here on the channel that night. That being said, this is a big opportunity for Isaac Guerendo. Huge opportunity for him because we are talking about him as a big get off the waiver wire throughout the season doing the waiver wire videos. Even with Christian McCaffrey back because he would be a handcuff for Jordan Mason after that point if something would happen to Christian McCaffrey. That being said, this is a huge opportunity for the young running back prospect. There's a lot of upside with this guy. We saw him rip 2 long runs this season. He's got speed to burn. He can pop it off on any given play. On top of that, we haven't had any running backs to look at these last few weeks. We've been looking at handcuff running backs. We've been hoarding. We've been stashing. It's been a while to get excited over a running back right now that has upside and an offense that runs the ball a good bit and that has shown some opportunity for fantasy production. Isaac Guerendo has done that with those 2 big runs, and you see that when he's moving on the field. He scored a touchdown last week, and we got some encouraging games coming up. We originally went to Wisconsin. We were a 3-star recruit. We played wide receiver. We're good catching the ball in the backfield. We had speed to burn. Didn't get a ton of offers. Not a big-time recruit, but we get to Wisconsin, and we're just playing behind stud running backs. Jonathan Taylor, Braylon Allen. We transferred out to Louisville, rushed for 810 yards and 11 touchdowns, 4.11 yards after contact per attempt. The year prior, 3.38 at Wisconsin because we can make it happen. 22 carries of 10-plus yards or more. Not the most productive profile, not the most productive running back coming out of college, but that being said, we have some traits in our game that's very encouraging. You would not compare him to like a top tier running back prospect, but when you're playing money ball with running backs in the later rounds, this is a guy you typically want to look at and put a couple chips on, especially in dynasty rookie drafts, because if this opportunity right here that we're seeing happens, you might catch a little fire on the cheap. We can blow up in games. 161 yards against USC, 146 against Virginia Tech, 114 against Maryland. But we're not consistent at churning out production. One, it's Louisville. We went over the tape. He's not like the most nuanced running back in terms of patience and vision. But man, this guy's electric. He sees that hole, he's gone. He's very assertive. He's decisive. And when it came to NFL draft, we got selected in the 4th round, 4.29 to the San Francisco 49ers. 4.33 40-yard dash at 221 pounds. We got speed to burn. We're explosive. We can get it done. And he kind of like fell in rookie drafts, even though early-ish day 3 selection, Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, they had some guys on the roster. Now when you look at it, put things together here in perspective. You got a guy that wasn't super productive out of college, but you got that 4.3 speed elite burst at 221 pounds. All you have to do, right place, right time on a couple carries, and you're going to be a mainstay for a bit. You're going to earn that RB2 role for the long term. or be mixed in as a revolving RB3 if you want to roll with Jordan Mason. One thing you want to look at here is Isaac Abanikanda comes in. Very productive running back prospect from Pitt. Spent some time with the New York Jets last year, and the Jets are just stacked at running back. He's not released or on waivers because he sucks. He was on a depth chart that's stacked. He would compete for touches big time for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, he would be pushing Rico Dowdle. He's a big time prospect. I would not be surprised if we get a hiccup or two with Guerendo if he starts emerging. This is why you watch these videos, because you start getting this information later on. Isaac Abanikanda is a good running back prospect with some juice who was very productive at Pitt. 4.5 40-yard dash, good burst score, but a guy that lit it up fell in the draft to the 5th round, and he was just too good of a deal for the Jets to pass up on. They drafted him, they picked him up, they had him on the roster, had a few good runs in training camp last year in 2023, and now we're looking at him as a potential get for the Niners that could surprise you down the line in the last few games of the season. That could potentially do that, because you look at this depth chart here. It's Izzy, it's Guerendo, Patrick Taylor's on the practice squad. You don't have much there. Not much competition. He might get worked in sooner than expected. This is a very good running back prospect. That's a deeper running back class. The fact that he goes in the 5th round is very comparable to like late 3rd, mid 4th of the 2024 class. That was one of the deeper running back classes we've seen in talent. And the NFL does not pay up for running backs, so running backs are just going to slide a little bit. Izzy was very productive at Pitt. Very good between the tackles, very explosive. Isaac Guerendo is as explosive as you can get at 221 pounds. Be on the lookout for Izzy just in case. And we're looking at these matchups coming up for the Niners here. Bears, Rams, Bucks, Cardinals. All good, solid matchups here that we can be productive with. All of them are allowing 20 points or more to running backs. That's the entire running back depth chart that's out deployed on the field. That being said, there's some opportunity going forward. The Lions is going to be the tough one. However, all it takes is one carry for a guy like Isaac Guerendo, one running lane, and that's also in the fantasy playoffs. So getting to the fantasy playoffs, you got the Bears, who are allowing 21.9 PPR fantasy points per game to running backs. Then you got the Rams, who are allowing 21.6. Then you got the Dolphins, who are allowing 21.4 PPR fantasy points per game to running backs. And they use their running backs at a good clip in the run game. The Niners get a good push up front. And he is a rocket with the ball in his hands. And if that crease opens up, he's gone. On top of that, keep watching Izzy. You don't need him. You don't have a spot. You don't want to pick him up. You're saving your fab. You're getting your handcuff. You don't want him. However, I think most fantasy gamers are looking at him. They want the touches. They want the upside. They want to stash him, even if they're not going to play him, because they do not want him going off on their opponent's rosters in the fantasy playoffs. This is a heavy get right now in fantasy football, because we have not seen many running backs with potential on the waiver wire that's walking into starter touches for a long time. And when I say starter touches, more than just one game. That is what we're looking at. It's been since Tyrone Tracy, Cam Akers, and Trey Sermon. That long ago. Feels like a year ago, month and a half or so ago. It's been since that long since we can look at the waiver wire like this. And I would not be surprised if more running backs start breaking down, because the running back injury carousel has not been running this year like normal. And maybe we catch it in the back end of the season. Maybe we catch it next year. But due to that, the waiver wire has been quiet. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.